I'm Alexis Pauline Gumbs, queer Black troublemaker, Black feminist love evangelist, and we are at the Allied Media Conference in Detroit, Michigan. Yay! My grandparents were revolutionaries. They were involved in the 1967 revolution in Anguilla. It says Anguilla on my shirt. Anguilla, represent. Anguilla is a really small island, and in 1967 they decided to secede from the British Empire, and for this tiny, tiny island to do that was a really big deal. And my grandfather was like the representative to the United Nations, and the British told him if he went back to Anguilla he would be shot on sight when they invaded, and all of this. And my grandmother designed the revolutionary Anguillan flag. That is something that has been a priceless thing to have in my life, like to understand my life in the context of a legacy that is transformative. And so if we all had that, I mean, what would we do? When I was about 14 is when I first started doing what I would call organizing, like youth organizing and youth facilitation, and seeing the need for that and wondering why the young people around me, like why were we so profoundly disenfranchised when we spent some of the most time in state institutions of anyone. Just getting that systemic analysis, like finally understanding that it's capitalism, it's on purpose, you know, like, and it has to stop. Like having that revelation as a teenager means you have to like figure out what you're gonna do. So Mobile Homecoming, it's an experiential archive. So every time we are meeting or listening to or interviewing a different visionary, I write them a praise poem, and Julia creates a djembe rhythm with their name, and I actually dance for them. Mobile Homecoming is a love escapade. It's this amazing journey that I get to participate in with my partner as we amplify the brilliance that we know we've benefited from. Because we deserve to have a world where all of us, but our queer Black elders, can be honored with our best chosen words, with our whole bodies, you know, with just like full celebration and sound. Because I have complete clarity that's the world we deserve to live in, to get to make that possible just a little bit at a time, like that it can actually be now, is huge. I mean, it's the most rewarding work that I've ever done. We have to be visionary, you know, and our legacy is people who actually believe that the world could be different from what it was, and who actually, without knowing, believe that we would exist. The work that Barbara Smith and Beverly Smith were creating in 1979, which is before I was born, and what it means to see it, it's like they dreamed that those of us would come along who would need this and who would live in a moment where that could be actualized in a different way. We are in a paradigm where we are often expressing fear, acting out of fear, living as if fear is the content of our realities, but it's not. So to me, creating these spaces where people can share their stories and hear each other's stories and see each other and feel each other and hear each other, that's what's at stake, because that to me is what makes it most possible for us to actually live. Okay. I am significant. Makes me want to say I am magnificent. That's what I heard in my head while I was saying it.